feel just like a rock star.
Okay, what's up guys? It is your boy Rockstar. We're back with another video as promised, and in this video we're going to be going over a few things. Now, I wanted to do this primarily because what I put together was I put together a little playlist here on YouTube, and it's specifically for a lot of you beginner traders. So the name of the playlist is actually Forex. I think it's Forex Tips for Beginners or something like that. And we go over a few things. Now, I have a lot of videos being highly viewed on this channel, one of them being my MetaTrader 4 video that kind of just blew up. And one of the most frequent questions I get, most common things people ask is, hey, you know, I just downloaded MetaTrader 4, but I'm still confused. I still don't understand like how to make money. You know, I don't understand how this works. I don't understand how to make money. And that's initially why I started this series, why I started the playlist. So there's 3 videos that I want you guys to kind of jump back and take a look at either before or after watching this one. And that's number 1, the MetaTrader 4 walkthrough video. Number 2, I did a short version of pretty much understanding pips and how pips move, how to calculate them. And then number 3, I did a lot size video. So understanding the lot size and pretty much how to use that as well. So what this video is going to be about is we're going to jump into how you guys actually make money with trading Forex. How do you actually make money with trading on MetaTrader 4? And it's, like I said, it's something that's been highly requested. I've been getting, you know, this question for months. So hopefully this helps you out. I'm going to go more into depth with lot sizes, more into depth with pips, how the market moves, and then show you guys how to put it together to pretty much figure out how much money you're going to be making per trade. So hopefully this all makes sense to you guys. And if it did, make sure you guys obviously, you know, you hit that subscribe button, you drop a like for your boy. Check me out on Instagram if you haven't done so already at RockStarrFX, and let's jump into it. So as you guys probably already seen on the screen, we have something already written up for you. And I'm kind of just going to recap on the previous 2 videos, which is lot sizes and pips. We're going to put it together. All right. And as I'm going through this video, hopefully I'm answering some of your guys' questions as well, so that we can get you on these charts and actually making money. Now, really quickly, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with pips. All right, because pips is very important. If you're trading in the Forex market, you should know what a pip is. You should know how pips move and how they work. If you don't know that, then please do me a favor. Don't even place your trades. All right, it's not worth it. Pips are what we use in the market to pretty much calculate the measure of how the market is moving, right? This is the unit of measure that we use to calculate how the markets are fluctuating, where they're going up, down, so on and so forth. And by the pip, right, each pip that it goes up in our favor, that will essentially determine how much money we get, right? How much money we make. So very first and foremost, let's talk about this right here. All right, so this is the price. Now, this is something I marked up a few minutes ago. So price right now is currently at 22141. All right, it's at 22141. So we're going to go ahead and just change that real quick. All right, 22141. We'll put it like that so you guys can physically see what it is that I'm doing. If you guys are confused, I'm looking at this price right here. All right, this price is moving, obviously, because the markets are open right now. But this is what I'm looking at. So what I want you guys to understand, okay, is a few things. Number 1, all right, I had to fix that. But anyway, all right, so number 1 is the base of the currency. So the base of the currency is pretty much the first currency pair. You know, for example, if I'm talking about the US dollar, for example, if we're looking at this, right, typically when you're looking at money, if I pull my wallet out right now, this is what I see in money. Okay, it's $1.22. Right? That's what we see as people when we're going to the bank, when we're going to the store, when we're using our debit or credit card. This is what we see, right? In money is $1.22. What we don't see is those little numbers that move up and down, that fluctuate every second throughout the day, that determine whether that 22 cent becomes more valuable or less valuable in exchange to another currency. So as you guys travel to a different country, for example, if I go from New York to Jamaica, for example, right? Obviously, I have to change my US dollars to the Jamaican dollar. There's going to be a currency rate there that obviously the US dollar is worth more than the Jamaican dollar, right? So very simply, we don't see those numbers behind that second decimal. But just like, I used the example before of, like a stopwatch, for example. When you guys have a stopwatch, when you click the button on the stopwatch, you see the seconds go up. 1, 2, 3. But behind those seconds, you see the fast little microseconds, or whatever you call it, going brrr, 1, brrr, 2. Those are essentially what the pips and the micro pips are, the pipettes, right? So when we're trading in Forex, the pip is typically the second to last digit in a currency, right? The second to last digit to the right of the decimal in a currency pair. So for example, 14 or 4, all right, this number 4 right here is our pip. So if this 4 were to move up to 5, that will be 1 pip in profit. If that 4 would have moved up to 6, that would have been 2 pips in profit. If that 4 would have moved all the way up to, let's just say the 14 moved up to 20, right? And hopefully you guys are following along. If that 14 moved up to 20, that means we would have been 6 pips in profit, all right, on a buy. So this is the pip right here. This is what essentially is what you're going to focus on to determine your profit, your stop loss, your take profit, so on and so forth, right? Now, the micro pip or the pipette is this last number, all right, the last number over here. It does play a role in your trading, but especially when you're first learning, you don't really need to focus too much on the micro pip. Let's focus on the actual pips itself, because as you guys are going to hear people say, like, I caught 70 pips, I caught, 20 pips, so on and so forth. That is what you're going to use to determine your risk to reward factor, right? So very simple. That is how pips work. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody here. Now, let's talk about the lot for real quick. All right. So with lots, right? With lots, and if you open up your MetaTrader 4, you're going to see lots. I think it's right under the currency pair, right? It's right under the currency pair. You're going to see the lots. Now, where a lot of people go wrong is they look at the lots, and because the lots, whether it's a micro, mini, or a full standard lot, because they look like an actual dollar amount. So for example, the micro lot looks like a penny. It's a 0.01 lot, right? It's a 0.01 lot. Even though it looks like a penny, it's actually equivalent to 10 cents. So for every pip that this goes up or down, that's going to be equivalent to 10 cents in the market. That either you'll be in profit or that you would have lost on. Okay, so that'll be 10 cents in the market that you'll either be in profit or that you would have lost on. All right. So for example, let's say that this 1.4, actually, let's change the 1.4. I'm going to change the 1.4 to 1.5 just to make this example a little more easier to understand. Right. So let's say this 1.5 right here. This is my pip. The 5 is my pip. But let's say I go 5 pips in profit. If I were to go 5 pips in profit, then my 1.5 would be 20 now. Instead of being 15, it'll be 20, right? If it goes 5 pips in profit. Now, if I'm trading on a micro position and I'm trading at 10 cents per pip on a 0.01, then 5 pips in profit would be a 50-cent profit, right? And hopefully that makes sense to everybody here. If I go 5 pips in profit, that would be a 50-cent profit, right? Now, if I was trading on a mini, which is a 0.10, it looks like 10 cents on MetaTrader 4, but it's not actually 10 cents. So don't over leverage your account, right? Don't over leverage your account. So it looks like 10 cents, but in all reality, it's actually equivalent to $1 per pip. So I'll give you guys an example. If my 15 or my 1.5 were to move up 5 pips in profit and I go up to 20, right, then that would actually be equivalent to a $5 gain for me, right? That's a $5 profit, all right? Now, lastly is the full standard lot, okay? The full standard lot, it looks like $1. And a lot of people that come into trading right off the bat, especially if you're trading on a demo, typically with a demo account, you got a few thousand in your account. A lot of people come in, and because they have so much in their account, you are able to trade standard lots. But the truth of the matter is that standard lots are very risky for new traders, especially if you don't have a sizable account, right? Why? Because they're equivalent to $10 per pip. So just 5 pips into profit, that would have been $50 for me. But check this out. What if it went 5 pips in the negative, right? If that 1.5 would have went down to 1.0, right? Then I'll be 5 pips negative on the buy. And if I have a $100 account, then guess what? That's half of my account gone with just a 5 pip drawdown, right? So this is where you kind of have to use both of them together to manage your risk, to manage your reward, and figure out exactly how much it is that you guys are going to be trading. Now, obviously, the bigger the account you have, the bigger lot size you can use. But I always tell people, listen, especially if you're brand new, start off on a demo account. You know, MetaTrader 4 creates a demo account for you for free, right? Start off on a demo account. Get used to the different lot sizes or position sizes based on, number one, based on your strategy, but number two, based on your account size, right? Because you don't want to over leverage. You want to know exactly what your risk to reward ratio is, right? So real quick, let's go down a little bit and look at the actual charts itself. And hopefully you guys understand the way locks work. Hopefully you understand the way pips work. So let's look at some of the charts itself. This is something that I had marked up from earlier. All right, just using this trend right here. But let's say, for example, we caught this pullback right here to my trend line. So let's say we caught this right here, a little pullback to the trend line. We caught this drop. So look, I'm going to pull out my measurement tool, and I'm going to take it from the top. Right? Oops, that was actually the wrong one. Hold on. So we caught this, boom, hits here. We caught the drop, and it dropped all the way 160 pips. Right? So let's just say we caught 150 out of those 160. As a matter of fact, let's just say we caught 100. All right, let's just say we caught 100. So where's 100 at? 100 is right about over here. So let's say we caught this 100 pip trade, which honestly, it happened pretty quick too, within a few candles, right? Within a few candles, we would have caught that 100 pips. So let's say we caught 100 pips on this trade right here. All right, and I'll go ahead and I'll highlight it. From here to here, this area was just about 100 pips. Well, look, if we're trading, okay, and we caught 100 pips, where's my text tool? So if we would have caught 100 pips, all right, on this trade, simply this is how this would have looked, okay? This right here is 100 pips. This is how this would have looked. If I was trading on a 0.01, all right, I'm going to go ahead and just type them all out. So if I was trading on a 0.01, 100 pips would have been equivalent to $10 for me. If I was trading on a 0.10, 100 pips would have been equivalent to $100 for me. And if I was trading on a full standard lot, 100 pips would have been $1,000. All right, $1,000. That is how 100 pips would have looked if we were trading on that. So when people ask me, when people, when they're confused, they're placing their trades on MetaTrader 4 and they don't understand how their profit or why they're in the negative, to simply answer that question of how you make money based on the amount of pips that you're catching times what your actual lot size or position size is. Now, here's another question that I often get. People, obviously, I broke it down into the simple terms by the tens, right? But let's just say, for example, you did a 0.03. Well, very simply, it's the same exact thing. So we know that obviously a micro is 10 cent per pip, right? If you were to do a micro at 10 cent per pip, a basic 0.1, a 0.01 is 10 cent per pip. A 0.03, very simply, would be 30 cent per pip. Right? So that will bring you at a $30 gain. If I had a 0.30, right, that would be $3 per pip, sorry. So that would be a $300 gain. If I did 3 standards, that would be $30 per pip, right? So that'd be $1,000 gain, right? Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense to everyone here, right? So I just wanted to do that example, and I'll do one more, all right, just to make it a little more clearer for everybody, okay? Because I get this question often as well. People ask, well, what if I did, like it wasn't a point, you know, a 10 or something like that, right? So now let's make it a little bit, like, let's show up different numbers for you guys, okay? I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, but also give you different examples, okay? So this is how 100 pips would have looked on each of these lot sizes. Okay, this is how 100 pips would have looked on each of these lot sizes. Now, when I say 100 pips, yeah, there are other things that factor into it. So, you know, I'm not saying that you're going to make this exact amount every single time. You got to think about spread. You got to think about the fees, the different fees that you have, so on and so forth. So take all that into consideration. On top of that, different currency pairs have different exchange rates, right? So take that into consideration as well. But this is just a rough estimate of pretty much how all of your trading should look, or how it's going to be when you're using MetaTrader 4 or when you're just trading in general. Now, to wrap it up, let's throw a bonus in there for you guys. We're going to talk about stop loss and take profit for a second, right? And very quickly, the way this works is, look, so now that we got the lots out of the way, we understand lot sizes, we understand pips, percentage and point. We know which number the pip is. So in this, look, real quick, let me draw this out for you guys. All right, let me draw this out for you guys. So I rearranged it a little bit for you guys. But look, so let's say we were placing this trade right here. And I want you guys, we're going to dig a little deep here because I want you guys to really understand this. So let's say we're going to place this trade right here, right? And let's say our entry point is at this white line, which is price 1.23312, right? So you guys see here, this is the actual price right here that I want to go ahead and enter in on this trade on the pullback to this trend line, right? So I want to enter right here. This is where I'm looking to enter. Entry price 23312. Well, very simple. All right, this is my entry price. And if I'm looking to gain 100 pips from this trade, okay, very simply what I would do is I'll look at my entry, and being that this is a sell, all right, this is a sell now. So obviously we want the market to go down. So to get my 100 pip take profit, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to find a price, all right, and I'm going to subtract 100 pips. So 100 pips is going to be 22312, all right? It's going to be exactly 100 pips there. So as you guys see, this is the 100 pip mark down here. Clearly, we smashed through that take profit, right? We smashed through that, all right? So my TP would have been very simple. 1.22312, right? That is my take profit. That's a 100 pip take profit. So my entry price is right here. My take profit is right here. And let's say I wanted to do a 50 pip stop loss. All right, a 50 pip stop loss. So if I wanted to do a 50 pip stop loss, then very simple. All I have to do is, all right, I got to go in the opposite direction now. So I got to take my entry point, all right, and let me grab another line here. I'm going to take my entry point, and we're going to put this stop loss 50 pips above my entry, right? So 50 pips above my entry is going to be 3812. Boom. All right. So this is where my stop loss essentially should be at. Let me go ahead and fix that again. 3812. All right, and that is a 50 pip stop loss. So very simple. Let's put this into actual lots now. Let's put this into a dollar amount. Let's understand how much we can make off of this trade versus how much we're risking on this trade. So very simple. Let's look at my 3 examples that we have up here. Okay, so let's say I'm trading just the regular micro mini standard, right? So let's say I'm trading just a regular 0.10. That's typically where a lot of people want to get to. They want to get to those mini positions, right? So very simple. Let's say we're trading a 0.10 or 0.10 lot. For every pip, we already discussed, for every pip on a 0.10, that's equivalent to $1, right? So if we're trading, all right, for a 100 pip gain, our potential gain for this trade is going to be about $100, okay? Our potential gain for this 100 pip trade is going to be about $100. Now, being that we have a 50 pip stop loss, all right, on a 0.10, very simple. Every pip is $1, right? So a 50 pip stop loss, our potential risk for this trade is going to be $50, right? So we're risking a total of $50 or 50 pips for a $100 gain, okay? $50 for a $100 gain. I'll give you guys one more example. Let's say we are trading the 0.30s. Let's say we're trading the 0.30s right here. Sorry, brain fart. So let's say we're trading this right here, 0.30. That is our lot size. That's our position size. We're trading a 0.30. Well, once again, a 100 pip take profit, okay, every pip is equivalent on a 0.30. Every pip is equivalent to not $1, but $3 now, right? It's equivalent to $3. So if we were doing 100 pips, all right, times this, that will be a $300 risk. I mean, a $300 gain with the potential risk of obviously 50 pips on a 0.30. Cut this in half, right? 50 pips is equivalent to $150. So it's a $150 risk to potentially gain $300. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody here. Hopefully you guys understand a little bit better how lot sizes work, how pips work, okay, and how to kind of put them together so that you guys can start actually marking up these charts, but start actually understanding where to place your stop loss, where to place your take profit, and how to get that proper risk to reward ratio going, and just overall understanding how the charts work. I feel like this is probably the easiest part to learn, but a lot of people struggle with this part right here. And the faster you guys get this down, because this is the basics of the basics, the faster you get this down, the easier it'll be to really start understanding the charts and understanding different strategies, different techniques, price action, so on and so forth. So with that being said, guys, look, this is your boy Rockstar. I'm going to wrap it up right here. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check some of my other Forex tutorials or MetaTrader 4 tutorials or videos or whatever the case may be. If you guys haven't done so already, join my free Telegram channel. I post updates, tips, tricks. We do a lot of trading there as well. And if I have any MetaTrader 4 signals, I'll toss them in there. But for the most part, I trade binary options, so I'm not really worried about it too much. But overall, join the channel. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. And if you guys are looking for any mentorship, any private mentorship, hit me up on Instagram at RockStarrFX, and we'll go ahead and run this thing up. So until next time, guys, it's your boy Rockstar. I'm out. Peace. Feel just like a rock star.